Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in. We've got a brand new Cimarron Showstar LX sitting behind us. Now, unfortunately, you can't buy this trailer. It's already sold. This was a custom order, but we wanted to show it to you because of all the cool options on this and a lot of the different options and features we can put on these trailers. So again, it's a 2024 Showstar LX. Let's take a look at the drawing because I want to show you just a couple of the dimensions on how this trailer was actually laid out. This one here, it's a 10 pin. You're going to be 8 wide. That's standard on your LX models. Now we went 6'8" tall for a couple reasons. Mainly the one reason is this family's a little bit taller and they don't want to hit their heads on the shorter low profile 6'4" that's standard. So we went 6'8" on this one. Front tack room on this one is almost 9 foot. It's 8 foot 11.5 inches. We'll just round up and call it a 9-footer on this one. But a 10 pin setup here that we're going to look at. There's a lot of standard features that I'll show you on an LX model. They're very well equipped trailers, but we can always do a lot of extras and other add-ons and really customize the trailer to your liking. So this one is also an air ride trailer. We're going to talk more about the air ride throughout it. I'll show you where the actual compressor is, and then we'll talk about benefits when we get kind of back to the axles. So this one being an LX, very first thing when you look underneath the nose there is you're going to notice the electric over hydraulic jack. That is standard on an LX. Great feature, big fan of it. It is really handy to push a button and up and down this trailer goes. The other thing is with this system here that we're looking at is if for some reason we have a power issue and we can't get this to actually lift with the button, you have a manual override. You get this little handle right here. We put it in, we can pump it up and down so we can get it down on a vehicle or off a truck, either way. That is a nice feature there. There is another model out there that if you lose power, you can't do the override, so you got to get power to it. This also has a lifting capability of 12,500 pounds, so really a stout jack that we're looking at here. With that, you're going to get your aluminum battery box that comes with it. This one's got a single battery. That's standard. You can always upgrade. This can house double, or you can even turn batteries if you want and stack more of them in here. And the other feature is you're going to get a battery disconnect. You know how I was talking about if you come to it and the batteries are dead? More than likely somebody left a light on, drained the battery because this was on the on position. If you want to just completely eliminate that when you unhook this trailer, the last thing you do is just reach in there and turn it off, and it'll kill all power to it. So you can walk in there and hit a light switch, or if one got left on, it's not actually pulling power. Now, you see these brackets coming off the bottom of the deck there. That is so these customers can put a portable generator right there on the front of this trailer. Now, standard nose is 8'2" long. When we enclose a nose, it's 9 foot. They opted not to do a 9 foot. This is actually a 10-foot nose here. So, I mean, we've got a lot of space here. That way we can put that generator right here, strap it down, and then directly up above, it's kind of hard to see. I'll put the flap down on it, but by that battery box in the side of the trailer is actually going to be a plug. And that plug is so we can plug that power from this portable generator or another power source right up into that outlet there. And we've got power into the trailer that I'll show you here in a few minutes. Aluminum spare tire located to the left of that jack. And then the last component underneath here is actually that air ride compressor. So all you have to do to operate this is turn it on, roll it to the raised position. Anytime you're pulling this trailer, you want to have the air ride system on. Then you turn it off, put it in the lower position, and then just clear the line. What happens is air can create that condensation, and what we have to watch is in the colder months, you know, as it's warm during the day and we have that condensation in there that's going to create that moisture and freeze overnight and potentially do damage to some lines. That's where you kind of get into issues there, but it's all self-contained. It's really easy. We've done some how-to videos on how to operate and how to then shut it down properly as well. One suggestion I always make to customers, you'll notice when we start getting into this trailer all the ramps. So when we're loading and unloading, whether it's the actual animals or equipment, have it lowered. It actually has this trailer 2.5 inches lower to the ground. Our ramps aren't as steep. When we pick it up, the ramps get steeper. So just go ahead and dump it. But again, as you're driving, turn that air right on and go enjoy it and use it. So what we're looking at is the black polish. There's a couple different color options out there. They can do some custom colors, white standard. You can upgrade to the black, a charcoal metallic, a silver metallic, and then there's custom colors, polish. You can do a little bit of everything, but this black is really sharp, especially with the polished extrusion. You see it on the top line, you see it on the bottom rail as well. It's all polished. We'll show you when we get to the actual side extrusion that as well. But again, big tack room on this. That's one thing that we've really noticed over the last couple of years in the show livestock industry is bigger tack rooms. And I think one of the reasons why is because we had so many shows that you were showing off the trailer. So it's nice to be able to have that room, carry all your equipment there. It's also nice to be able to leave equipment in trailers. You've got equipment in the barn, equipment for the trailer to go to shows, you can just leave it in there. That's the other benefit about having that hydraulic jack, is pushing that button rather than cranking it up. But as we go into this tack room, you see a side ramp coming in. Again, you get the head clearance with it being 6'8", but we also did head pads on these openings. But as you can see when you come in here, this is a nice big tack room. A lot of space in here. Right off the bat, when you look at the gooseneck drop area, you're going to notice a 18-inch boot box. You can store a lot of items in here. They've actually got their cords in here, just boxes for the water system. I'll tell you about that here in a minute. But the nice thing about the 18 inches versus the 12 inches is you can actually put your larger buckets in here. Those smaller ones, because of this frame, when you get into the 12, you can't put anything but a real small bucket in these. But it's a great place to sit down, use as a bench if you're showing out of this trailer, step up into the gooseneck area. If you notice the gooseneck area right here, we've got a gate going across. It folds down. So that way you can secure items up here in this gooseneck area. Now, up in the gooseneck area, we've got a lot going on. We'll kind of start over to the right and we'll kind of work our way around. First thing is, you're going to notice a tray. That is actually going to store plexiglass. I'll show you where that plexiglass is when we get to the stall area. But that's where it stores out of the way for you. We want all these options and some of these items to have places to live. So that's where that's going to go there. Then if you look up at the actual front of the gooseneck, you're going to notice we've got a pump. We've got a 54-gallon water tank. So this trailer's actually got a mister system on it. If they ever wanted to add, waters to it, at least that part of it's done. They can run a line for that. But right up there is the actual 54-gallon water tank. You fill, it's a gravity feed from the bottom, so it's kind of nice. It'll just pick it up and put it right into that tank, and then there is a dump there as well. That's a system that you'll have to drain when it comes to the winter months as well. Your pump, clear out your actual tank. You have to watch this. This is a new design on these tanks. In the past, they've had an overfill, and those guys would spit water out if you got them too full. Now, it will expand, so you have to watch it as you're filling it. When you get a couple inches from the top, just go ahead and stop it. I wouldn't try to overfill it by any means. Clear to the brim, and because you might lose track of it, just like a tank. You get doing other things, and then you forgot that you left the water tank on overnight. We've all been there. Over to the left is going to be our 30 amp breaker panel. So that's where that plug-in that I showed you on the bottom side is coming into, right there. And then that other component directly ahead of it is going to be a converter. So when we're plugged into power, whether it's that generator or another power source, it's actually going to charge those batteries that we saw in that aluminum battery box. So that is a nice feature. That's something that's if we put these power packages on, we just recommend, because what you'll do is you'll use lights, you'll do those other type of items, and it's just draining your battery, and then you're having an issue trying to get hooked on to the actual trailer. Got a cabinet kind of right behind the actual gooseneck drop wall area. Great place to just store some items with it. Having the actual lid on it, so an actual closed cabinet, you don't have to worry about the things shifting. But just real high quality as far as what you're dealing with. As you can see, that big gas shock on there holds it open, so you don't have to hold it getting items in or out. And then shutting it, it just wants to do it itself and go ahead and close. LED lights above the doors, and another head pad here. So we have a ramp on passenger side and then a man door on driver's side. Anytime we have a ramp coming into the tack room, I will always push a customer to have another access point in, whether it's a man door on the side, passenger door on the passenger wall, whatever it is, because anytime you have those ramps, if they shut from the outside, you cannot get out of them. So from a safety standpoint, I like having this type of a setup. The other nice thing is our ramp is curbside, so if on the side of the road having issues, that's away from traffic. You can still sneak in on this man door over here on street side of things. Switch coming in as you come into this door. I'll show you here in a minute. We've done some additional switches just to make life easy. Carpet on these walls. You've got the big heavy utility hooks from Cimarron. These are aluminum powder coated, so they're really strong and stout. And I love this because they've designed them specifically for the show livestock world. Over the years, we'd always use bridle hooks from horse trailers. These would be really close together, wouldn't be very tall, wouldn't stick off the wall very, very far off. Now, as you notice, we have big gaps between them. They come off a lot taller. Big cords, big hoses fit on these and they won't fall off. So that's a nice feature there. And then the airliner track, you can get some hooks, you can get some different items that actually clip in here. Different hooks, whether they're circular, you can get big ones. You can actually get some more hooks like we're dealing with up here as far as the bridle hooks go. But that's nice because then you can put items in here and strap them down. And the flexibility to be able to move them on that wall makes a big difference. Now on this floor, this is something we've done quite a bit over the last probably year and a half. So this is a rubber floor. It's got a lot of grip to it. It's really easy to clean. We're actually starting to incorporate this quite a bit on the horse trailers. Those old mats were big and thick and stuff could get underneath them to where they go and they cut and then they seal on the side. So we don't have to worry about items getting underneath this. And then we don't have just bare aluminum as well. And we run it so on the floor, the gooseneck drop wall, and then up on that deck. And that's actually kind of where it started. We had some customers say, I don't want to get up there and have to vacuum out, feed or any type of bedding that we throw up in there in that carpet. It's really hard to get out of. And that's where it kind of started, and it's evolved from there, and we're actually incorporating it quite a bit. Behind me is a shelf with a clothes rod. So again, juniors can come in, hang their clothes, throw some items up in the shelf area itself. You don't have to worry about them shifting off with the lip. But then they can hop in this tack room, change, go to the show ring, or just travel with clothes in here. A place for them to live. Again, items to secure. Maybe we don't have to have them in the pickup. We can put them back here, give you a little bit more room in the actual tow vehicle itself. Now, pass-through door, I mentioned that. It goes into the stall area. So it's nice because you can come in here, maybe prep some feed or send the kid in, get changed, and they can go in there, and then you can head to the ring from there. There's a drain in the floor right here because if you notice, we've got a hose coming down and a spigot. So again, we can fill some buckets up right here. It comes directly from that tank up in the nose from that pump. And then we have two switches above this ramp. We have one on the left that's actually going to operate the lights on the interior of this trailer. And then the one on the right is actually going to operate the pump for that actual water system. So what we wanted is this was customer feedback that we built a similar trailer. Well, there's only the light switch on the door on driver's side. And he says, majority of the time we're coming in from the ramp side. Well, we have all this filled with equipment. I can't get to that light switch. So he made that recommendation, and we've been doing that on all these show trailers when we have these multiple access points, because it's just dang handy to just walk in, reach up, and hit that and turn it on. So on the top rail, we've got LED marker lights. They're a smaller light, but they don't pull a lot of power. They put out a lot of light. It's a clean look. It looks sharp at night. These are roughly, I'd say, about every 4 foot apart. But again, at night, it dresses up really well. You have a 16-inch awning light between the front tack room ramp and then the load space ramp going into the stall area there. So we have light coverage on the exterior of the trailer as well, going in and out. As you can see, ramp going in. gate over the opening. I'll show you more about those gates in there, but it's nice to be able to drop this. You're showing off the trailer, need to get some more airflow through here. You can see there's another door on the other side, but we don't have to worry about dropping this ramp and have it an open area as far as that pin goes. That way we can secure those animals right in there. I'll show you those powder coated pins a little bit more when we get into the stall area here in a few minutes. On an LX, you get your drop windows. That is standard on these. So a lot more airflow rather than stock sides with plexi. That's how it started. It's evolved. We've gone to these drop windows. There's this version here, and then you can upgrade even to a heavy drop down window. So big framework. You'll see those more on our horse trailers. That's standard. We can do that on this as well. There's definitely a significant upcharge on that, but it is a nice feature if you wanted to go that route. This light right here, that's something we put on these wider trailers a little bit longer. It's an amber turn signal. Very small add-on upcharge for you, but it works as an indicator light. It also flashes when your turn signals are on, and it'll actually illuminate too when you hit your brakes. So it's got a lot of functionality when we're dealing with these longer trailers. You know, the truck's way up there where the blinker is. If somebody's kind of just past the back end of your trailer, they can't tell if your blinker's on or not. So that's a nice indicator light right there. We do that again on all of our living quarters, 8 foot wide in these longer trailers. Customers really like that feature there. Spread axle we're looking at here. So we have two 7,000-pound air ride axles here. The spread is going to help take tongue weight off this trailer. It's going to help the way it rides too. Especially when we get into these air ride axles. But you know, just to use your imagination, rough roads, potholes, by the time this front tire hits a pothole, this back tire is still flat on the road. By that time this one transitions out of that and this one makes its way, that one is now beyond and flat. So one, we have this air ride suspension, which is a phenomenal pull and benefit to your animals. But then with this spread, it's going to pull more like a triple axle, and again take a lot of that tongue weight off. Again, this is a little bit bigger trailer, but helping with weight distribution by spreading that out makes a big difference. Just think about semis and how they do their spread axles there. Now with this air ride system, if for some reason something happens, that compressor, air line, a bag, it will set down as it's sitting right here on a rubber torsion axle with shocks, so you can still get down the road. Old air ride systems, if something happened, you couldn't move the trailer. This, totally fine, you can still get to where you need to. We always recommend that if it's working how it should, have it aired up. So as you can imagine, again, it'll pick it up 2.5 inches when we raise this trailer, when we turn that air ride system on. That way, it'll get you a little bit more clearance, but again, load everything and then turn that on there. Now there's a air gap here at the bottom that's on a fold down slat. So we don't have plexiglass to worry about there. There is plexiglass on the inside. I'll show you and I'll talk about why that is in there. But as you can see, it's really handy to be able to have this shut up on a cool morning. It was maybe 55 this morning, really overcast, foggy. We had a lot of rain last night. It was really cool here. And then it's heating up. So if you leave in the morning when it's cool, you can stop somewhere really quick as it's heating up and then drop these air gaps really easily with them being on those gas shocks. Again, we don't have to worry about plexiglass, but those drop really easy and open up and get more airflow down to the animals, especially in these low profile trailers that we're looking at. Pay attention to that door as we walk by. It's a wraparound hinge. We've done that over the last couple of years on these trailers just by watching them at shows. You know, a lot of times they would 90-degree off the trailer. So when you're parked in scenarios where it's showing off this trailer, people were constantly opening and closing doors. So we went with this wraparound style to get them on the side of the trailer, just open it up and just make it a lot more just user-friendly from that standpoint. Dual 50/50 ramps that go over those dual 50/50 rear doors. Those are all independent. So we can open either side door, drop either side ramp. That's nice. I do like the 50/50 ramps too for maybe some younger juniors. If they have to get in this trailer, it's not that wider ramp. It's a lot easier by splitting that weight. They're really not that heavy and they use a good spring, but it does help open and close in those from that standpoint. Kind of like the amber turn signal, we have backup lights. Again, another thing we're putting on a lot of our trailers. Think about where the back of the pickup is and their backup lights. You're not getting anything back here. You're gonna be backing in somewhere where it's dark, somewhere unfamiliar. It's nice to have some light coverage there. You could never have enough lights on these trailers, in my opinion. So we've got those. You've got two 16-inch awning lights at the back as well. With it being 8 wide, we can put those bigger ones back here. And again, a lot of light coverage. Now, we're looking at the pins. So again, this is a 10-pin adjustable. I want you to notice, they wanted purple powder coat and then the post white powder coat. So the white, the powder coating makes a big difference, especially when we're dealing with, you know, white hogs, maybe got some lambs, some goats, you know, as they, you know, butt up against here, rub up against these pins. With them being aluminum, you'll get some of those marks on them. So the powder coat will really help there. What's cool is you've got the option to, you know, really do a lot of different color combinations. I mean, some customers will go in and say, man, I want, you know, I've seen blue floors, purple floors. They do different color powder coat on the pins. Some people just do like a white. It's really up to you. It's a custom trailer. We can do what you want there. So the powder coat makes a big difference from that standpoint. Anything that has one of these pin systems, you can do the powder coating later too if you want. You just got to find somebody and then actually remove them. But on these, as you can see right now, we've got it set up as a 60-40. So this right-hand side is set up as more of an alleyway. But if I need to just adjust these to a 50-50, it's a real simple process. What you do is you actually just release it, the pin itself, and you pull, swing it over, lock it into position, and then repin it. That took me about 5 seconds, and you can actually do it a lot quicker. It's a really simple system. They've done a great job on how it operates and just giving you the flexibility. You know, in certain situations, you might say, man, I need that alleyway, or man, I need this back pin to be wider, or boy, I could just really open up a section. I can take this back post out, have this all opened up. Again, you got a lot of flexibility on these and how they operate, and just the ease of how they operate. On these middle gates, we've gone in. They typically have one feeder rod. We like to go in and do 2 on each side. That way, younger projects, as they get bigger and you might need to elevate those feeders, you can do that. Over here on the right-hand side, there's actually, you see some hardware up there. What you can do is you can take your feeders, unclip them, turn around, clip them up with the wall, do what you need to. They're kind of up out of the way. So that's a nice little feature there. You'll notice in that top rail, there's a bunch of outlets. So that 30 amp breaker package, that's where it comes into play, because now we have power back here in the stall area by having that. And over on driver's side, same thing, outlets. We've spread them out, and then you're gonna notice this rail. So that rail we've actually taken from our cattle trailers on our traveling gates, and you see the brackets here. What they can do is they can go get a 12-inch fan. That's kind of what works best. You know, 24-inch fans hang down quite a bit in these lower profile trailers, but a 12-inch fan, we can move those where we want, adjust them, tighten them up, plug them in, and then you have fans circulating air in here. It's nice when you're showing off of these trailers because we have all these drop windows, you have these doors with gates over them, but we've got the ability to put some fans up here and again circulate a lot of that air. Line and insulate on the side walls of this. Every Cimarron comes standard with an insulated roof. This one's even capped with more insulation, and the aluminum here, 2-way roof vents throughout it. So again, creating a lot of airflow, keeping these a lot cooler. Compared to aluminum sheeted roofs, these Cimarrons stay about 20% cooler because of the insulated roof that's standard on the top side. It'll also take substantial hail. They've actually gone in and framed in 2 spots and pre-wired for air conditioners in here. So they can go in and add air conditioners later. Wiring's already there, ties into that 30 amp breaker, but it's really simple to go ahead and drop those in after the fact. And then if you look down the middle, you'll see there's a water line right there. There's those misters. So there's actually a valve up at the front so we can turn that on and off. Again, getting that mister and getting that water actually just kind of keeping everybody nice and cool as we're traveling, especially in the summer months, or just showing off of it. And in fact, there's one more spigot right at the back of this. So again, like we saw in the front tack room, have a water spigot there. You can fill up some buckets, rinse off your hands, whatever you need to right there. All right, we'll keep kind of working forward. I want you to pay attention to the floor, because on the floor, what we're looking at, typically on these LXs, we have standard no mats in here. Well, you either go with no mats or you go with this worm flooring. This worm flooring is permanent and it's unpenetrable. So we don't have to worry about any urine getting down to the aluminum itself. Urine is acidic, so it's hard on that aluminum. That's where over time it'll corrode. So this worm, again, permanent, unpenetrable. We don't have to pull mats out. As you notice with all these posts, all these components here on the inside, if you have mats, it is really hard to get those mats put back in here, and you will need to clean that floor. And also, hogs will want to root them up. It's just a pain. So you either go without and just bed deep, but then you'll have to clean everything out and clean the floor, or you go with something like this. They opted for black, that's standard. They could have done purple, they could have done white, they could have done purple and white, whatever they want, but they opted for black, so there's options there as well. And on these wheel wells, they did rubber matting as well. So just again, kind of protecting the side a little bit. And then directly above that, you're going to notice there's that plexiglass. So that plexiglass is on the inside of those fold down slats, because it is a component that opens up on that gas shock. So we can't 100% seal it up. So by doing this plexiglass on the inside here, it's going to almost just create another little barrier for us, especially when we get into the winter months where we want to try to keep it a little bit warmer. We've got that plexiglass in here. They've got these cuts in the middle, so we can take that plexiglass out. Again, that's where that storage tray on the inside in that gooseneck area comes into play. That's where all that can go and store. I would recommend, if you take it out on passenger side, try to keep that all together, tape it together with like a masking tape and write it on there. That way you know that goes to passenger side and then driver side as well. Try to keep them separate, because here on driver's side you see these upright posts. We have sections ahead and behind, and over on the other side we don't have to worry about it. So we have a little bit longer pieces over there. It'll just save a lot of hassle when you go to put those away, or when we go to put them back in the trailer, by knowing exactly where they go. So a lot going on in here in the stall area. Guess the only other thing is kind of up at the front, same thing at the ramp. We've got a pad up there just so you don't whack your head going in and out of that. We've got them at the rear. I'll show you when we get out of the trailer. And then same thing, a light switch as you come up inside the ramp right there. That way, again, if you're coming into the stall area, you can just reach up there and turn those lights on. There's an additional switch at the back, but that way you don't have to be going to the back all the time if you're literally just coming in this side ramp. We can just walk up, reach in there, and turn that on and off as far as that's concerned. So they set this trailer up really, really well. It's got a lot of options on it, a lot of cool features, from the powder coat, the worm, a water system, the line and insulate, power, the ability to hang fans, a lot of components that we're looking at here on this trailer itself, just in the stall area. So again, here's those head pads as we come out. Not as big of an issue for me, but the gentleman that ordered it's a lot taller than I am, and you hit your head a couple times and you'll really enjoy those pads after a while. So here on passenger side, there's your drop windows again. Again, fold down air slat at the bottom. And then you have this access door going into the stall area with a gate over it as well. These are nice because now you truly have an access point on every side of this stall area. Obviously the back, the side ramp, pass-through door coming from the front tack room, and then right over here on driver's side. Have a fold-up step so you can get in and out. It's being a lower profile trailer, it's not as big of a step, but it does make a big difference, again, as your juniors are maybe getting in and out of these trailers. As you can see where I'm standing versus the bottom frame of this door, that's a pretty big step. So having these fold-up steps, whether it's going into the access door there or even into the front tack room here, you've got that ability to just make that transition a lot easier and simpler. You're carrying items in and out. Again, it makes a difference there. And then another 16-inch awning light between those two, so we have more light coverage. You know, again, just having, again, you can never have enough lights. Then on this tack door, you're actually going to go ahead and have a digital combo lock. That way you can actually lock this trailer up as long as the actual door handle isn't locked and you've got that combo lock, you can secure it, but then send somebody to the trailer without the keys and they can hop in this front tack room by just punching in the code and getting in and out of it. So I'll kind of step back from this trailer a little bit here. That way you can see the black polished sheets and then the polished aluminum extrusion down the side. So top rail, bottom rail, and then that side extrusion. So again, a sharp looking trailer from that standpoint. 8-year structure warranty, 3-year bumper to hitch. You have a 1-year, no questions asked warranty on your tires. So again, they really stand behind the product as well. But talk about an extremely well-equipped pin system trailer that we're looking at here. 10-pin adjustable, air ride suspension, big tack room, water system, and. So again, unfortunately it is sold. But if you are interested in it, you like some of the features, you want to build the exact same trailer, maybe the couple tweaks, you can reference this stock number right here, 5N230240. Again, it's a 2024 Cimarron Showstar LX Air Ride trailer. We do take trade-ins, whether you're looking to upgrade, maybe even downsize, we can help you out there. Financing is available, and then also delivery is available, so we can have the potential to deliver this right to your door. So give us a call. Anybody on our sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. We appreciate you tuning in and have a good day.